youngest recipients, Philadelphia's own G. Fred DeBona Jr. The grandson of immigrants with roots in South Philadelphia, he has, from the beginning, applied his professionalism, passion, and performance to a life of public service, business leadership, and private inspiration to untold numbers of people and organizations. On the 50th anniversary of the Drexel Business Leadership Award, it's hard to believe that this honoree is just 2 years older than the award itself. His achievement cannot be defined solely by a litany of his efforts. A historic turnaround of a troubled health insurer now considered a national leader. 2 consecutive terms as chairman of the National Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. Back-to-back chairmanships of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce and the United Way of Southeastern Pennsylvania. Tireless efforts on behalf of the American Red Cross, the Urban League, the YMCA, and just about every other organization doing good in the Philadelphia region.
The great thing is, you know that he's doing these things not for his own self-interest, not because this is going to help Fred DeBona, but this is going to help whether it's his company or whether it's his region or whether it's his city. That's really what's on his mind, and as a result of that, there's a tremendous amount of goodwill that he's built up in this region for a long, long time.
The measure of the man is not in the titles he held, but in the results he has produced and in the depth of his commitment. At the age of 25, demonstrating a maturity beyond his years, Fred DeBona became the youngest chairman of the city's Zoning Board of Adjustment, infusing that politically sensitive agency with his special brand of integrity and professionalism. Soon after, he was elected the youngest president of the Philadelphia Port Corporation, bringing to it a new spirit of urgency and momentum. His election as president of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce, again as the youngest ever executive to assume that position, inaugurated an era of growth, expansion, and excitement in the business community's commitment to service and economic development. His transition from the public to private arena was inaugurated with the launching of Keystone Ventures, which began with just 2 members, Fred and his wife, Sylvia. Today, its successor, Keystone Health Plan East, is now ranked as one of the largest and highest quality health maintenance organizations in the country. In 1990, at just 39 years of age, his demonstrated success at Keystone led to his election as president and CEO of Independence Blue Cross. It is typical of him that his first major initiative was the creation of the Caring Foundation for Children, which, since that time, has provided nearly 140,000 needy children with free and low-cost health insurance. It is equally typical of him that his company is a recognized regional leader in providing contracting opportunities for minority and women-owned businesses. And although he has instilled his company with the same sense of social mission that has characterized his life, he has, with his business acumen, increased enrollment to record levels, maintained the highest standards of financial performance, provided thousands of jobs, and marketed quality products so well respected that just this year, Consumer Report recognized the Personal Choice Preferred Provider Organization as the second best in the entire nation. The bottom line, a $10 billion company providing employment to more than 8,600 people.
I think one of the toughest jobs to do in the country today is to run a health insurance firm and please everybody. Maybe it's an impossible job. Probably a tougher job than Andy Reid has right now in Philadelphia, pleasing everybody. But I don't think anybody's done it any better than Fred DeBona.
Well, I think Fred probably epitomizes corporate responsibility and the sense that corporations have a duty to give back.
He took risks, demanded innovation, and motivated his team to increasingly higher levels of performance. But there's more to it than that. As vital as the bottom line, he envisions his company's mission in deeply human terms. What we really sell, he says, is a promise to millions of subscribers that we'll be there when they need us. At the heart of what he does is an understanding that Blue Cross will protect them as they face one of their greatest concerns, their health and well-being. Small wonder that just a few years ago, the National Congressional Medal of Honor Society bestowed on Fred DeBona, jointly with former President George W. Bush, its highly coveted Patriot Award. And in 2001, received the Chamber's William Penn Award. The principles he lives by are constant and unchanging. That politics is public service. That business leadership is inseparable from community involvement. That personal values must be translated into public action. And that the private man, devoted to his family, is the underpinning of the businessman devoted to his city.
I cannot imagine southeastern Pennsylvania without Fred DeBona and his imprint here.
But nobody gets it better than Fred, and nobody does it better than Fred.
He is, without question, a fitting successor to the many distinguished Philadelphians who have preceded him as Drexel University's Business Leader of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to present to you the 50th Business Leader of the Year, Fred DeBona.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. Taki, there is only one thing I've been wondering for the last 5 minutes. Not whether you found your Blue Cross card, but did you have a referral? And God, I hope we approve that visit. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that very kind and warm welcome. But more importantly, thank you for coming out here today and giving of your time and your resources to support this great institution, Drexel University. And I know Taki gave you 2 options, but please stay healthy. Also, Spider-Woman, Barbara Spiro, mentioned that we, some years ago, took Spider-Man and sent him to jail. We would never do that to Spider-Man. What we actually did once we pulled him in was we sent him to a hospital. And then we didn't pay his claim, and he's still there. So if you're looking for him, I know where he is. Thank you, Nick DeBenedictis and Ron Rubin, for co-chairing this luncheon. Both of you have been great friends of mine and business associates for so many years. But again, more importantly, both of you have done so much to improve the quality of life for this region. And I know that all of us thank you very, very much. Let me also express my appreciation to Dean George Chichekos, who in a very short period of time has had such a positive effect on the LeBeau School of Business at Drexel. And thanks also to Barbara Spiro and her great staff, and to all the members of the luncheon committee for making this event so successful, which could have only happened through your very diligent and hard work. And what an enormous thanks I owe to Taki Papadakis and his wife and partner at Drexel University. Both of you have done so much for this community and have done so much to move Drexel far into the future. And Taki, I could tell you, I love you, man, as an employer. And the next time I meet with you, I want to meet with you as an employer. And finally, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my family for being here today. My beautiful wife, Sylvia, of 28 years, is here. Our children, Fred and Christine, are here. And as Ron Rubin alluded to earlier, the last couple of months for me have not been easy ones. But during that period, not only did they give me their full support, but they gave me their unconditional love as well. And I thank you very much for that. When I was first asked to accept this award, I was surprised and thrilled at the prospect of being chosen for such a prestigious honor. Weeks later, however, when I received the invitation, I looked on the back and saw the list of prior recipients. I literally felt my hands start to tremble. In fact, I actually shivered as that list of names took me back more than 25 years. It filled my head with memories of my days as a younger person in this business community. Memories of the times I sat in a crowded ballroom like this and watched as people I deeply respected and greatly admired step forward to accept this award. Memories of feeling that I was incredibly lucky just to be in the same ballroom with these legendary business leaders. Then I started to reflect on just how fortunate we Philadelphians have been to have had leaders like the ones listed on the back of that list. How lucky we in the business community have been to be led by people of such high and outstanding integrity. How lucky we have been to have had business leaders who worked as hard outside of their boardroom as they did inside, and always determined to give back and improve our community's quality of life. These were leaders who believed in their company and worked tirelessly, but not just for themselves. These were leaders who sought value for their shareholders, their customers, their workers, and their communities. Yes, how lucky we have been, because, as alluded to earlier, unfortunately, in other parts of this country, we have watched a relatively small number of leaders behave quite differently. Our newspapers and our newscast are filled with stories of corporate greed, of self-dealing, of trust abandoned in the name of enormous personal gain. But to our good fortune, these stories have never existed here. We didn't have any Ken Lays here, but thank God we do have people like John Rowe and Hal Sargente. And we were blessed to have people like Willard Rouse. We do not know the Dennis Kozlowskis in this region, but we do know the Bill Averys, the Bill Mills, the Bill Sassos, the Walt DeLessios, George Rosses, and the Pete Mussers. And indeed, we are better for it. Instead of people like John Regas, we are privileged to work with people like Brian and Ralph Roberts, mayors like Ed Rendell, governors like Tom Ridge, and spiritual leaders like the late Reverend Leon Sullivan. We have had people like Jack McCann and Joe Neubauer, last year's winner, and we have people like Bob D. and Bob McClements, and now people the likes of a Jack Drostick. These are leaders who care and cared deeply and personally about the organizations they had been or still are entrusted to lead and the futures of those organizations. These are leaders who nurtured our academic institutions, they built our hospitals, they directed our public utilities, and they led our city and state governments. They built churches and synagogues, and they worshiped in them. And they set our moral compass. They built Philadelphia's new skyline and made dreams of successful small businesses come true. They were leaders who ran railroads and airlines, insurance companies, banks, and financial services. Their companies made oil and chemicals, pharmaceuticals, computers, and food. Yes, they were leaders whose company made this community one of the best places in America to work. But they did more than that. They were leaders whose endless civic contributions made this community one of the best places in America to live. They gave of their resources and they gave of themselves. They gave and they urged others to give so that our community could follow its dreams. Dreams of offering all of our residents meaningful employment. Dreams of becoming an exciting destination for hundreds of thousands of tourists. Dreams of building a world-class convention center and a performing arts community without peer. Dreams of embracing those with far less. And dreams of giving all our children the start that they needed to pursue their own dreams in the years to come. When I look back at the names today, I cannot help but think how much our community continues to need them. Leaders who value integrity over personal gain. Leaders who promote the community's interest over their own. Leaders who understand that they must serve so that others will watch and learn and make the decision to serve as well. We are grateful that we still have many of these leaders with us today, working to help this business community through the challenging times we face today and those we will undoubtedly face in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, on this 50th anniversary, let this not be a tribute to today's honoree, but let us salute all these special leaders of the past 49 years. Leaders who gave a young man from South Philadelphia, educated in its public school system, a chance to run some of the most important and exciting organizations in this region. So today, let us hope that other leaders will join the leaders of the past. For nothing is more important to the livelihood of our region than the emergence of new leaders. And there we are blessed again with newer leaders like Jack Brennan and Dominic Federico, Ed Hanway, John Conway, Governor Mark Schweiker, and many others. People who honor the values and accomplishments of the past, but at the same time will work tirelessly on behalf of new ideas. Ideas that will keep our community strong. Ideas that will create new jobs. Ideas that will promote new and greater optimism. And ideas that will inspire more ideas. And still more ideas. And awaken in all of us the potential that the leaders on this list awakened in the people they inspired so many years ago. And I speak of the kinds of ideas that are propelling this great university forward. Ideas that inspired the development of one of the best co-op education programs in all of America.